Good evening and welcome to tonight's evening report. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Sajid Javid, deeply concerned after judges rule, I'm not going to say her name, ISIS bride can return to the UK to fight for citizenship. Sajid Javid has said he is deeply concerned after judges ruled ISIS bride can return to the UK to fight the decision to remove her British citizenship. The 20-year-old was one of 3 East London schoolgirls who travelled to Syria to join the Islamic State group in 2015. She lived under IS rule for more than 3 years before she was found 9 months pregnant in a Syrian refugee camp in February last year. Mr Javid, who was the Home Secretary at the time, revoked her British citizenship on national security grounds later that month. Jihadi Bride took legal action against the Home Office, claiming the decision was unlawful because it rendered her stateless and exposed her to a real risk of death or inhumane and degrading treatment. I would have thought no more inhumane or degrading than ISIS did to their victims. I'd say it's a bloody cheek to even claim that. Senior judges in the Court of Appeal today ruled that Mrs Jihadi Bride should be allowed to return to the UK to fight the decision to remove her British citizenship. Well, the minute she's back in the UK, she's back in the UK, and that is that. We will not be able to get rid of her. Taking to Twitter, Mr Javid said he respected the court and would limit how much he said about the case, but that there were important principles at stake. Any rejections of rights and freedom faced by this Jihadi bride are a direct consequence of the actions she has taken in violation of both government guidelines and common morality, he said, and he's 100% right. It is not clear to me why an appeal court not be made abroad using modern technology. However, this is not solely a matter of justice, it is also a matter of national security. He warned that the judgments and precedents set in this case could bind the hands of the government in managing past and future cases. First and most critically, allowing her and indeed other terrorists back into the UK to pursue an appeal would create a national security risk that cannot fully be mitigated, even with the diversion of significant resources, he stated. To allow her back into the country is... I don't get it. I do not get how the Court of Appeal have come to their decision here. It's sick. It's wrong. It's. I just don't get it. It's like the courts have become virtue signalling activists. Her citizenship was revoked by the Home Secretary. That should be game over. There and then, game over. Court of Appeal shouldn't even be hearing a case on a decision that is made by the Home Secretary. That should be game over. Makes my blood boil. Moving on. European judges plunged Brexit talks into chaos, ruling could have serious consequences. Oi oi. European judges have struck down a crucial EU-US data sharing deal that could have serious ramification for the bloc's future relationship talks with Great Britain. In a blow to Brussels, the European Court of Justice rejected the Privacy Shield agreement between the bloc and US. The tool, which is used by thousands of firms, was introduced in 2016 to protect Europeans' personal data when it is transferred across the Atlantic. The agreement prompted complaints amid privacy concerns about the United States surveillance watchdogs. The ECJ said, in respect of certain surveillance programs, those provisions do not indicate any limitations on the power they confer to implement these programs, or the existence of guarantees for potentially targeted non-US persons. Privacy Shield's predecessor, Safe Harbor, was also invalidated by the Luxembourg-based firm in 2015 after former US intelligence contractor Edward Snowden's revelations of mass US surveillance. The decision by the ECJ could have significant implications for separate data adequacy negotiations between the EU and UK. Oh, I say. Anything to try and throw a spanner in the works, isn't it? God bless their cotton socks. And moving on, Black Lives Matter sculpture taken down from Plinth in Bristol. And I should hope so too. You can't just tear down a statue and then go and whack another one up in the middle of the night and think everything's hunky-dory. That's just endorsing criminal behaviour if you allow that. A statue of a Black Lives Matter protester that was installed on a plinth in Bristol where a statue of slave trader Edward Colston once stood was removed by workmen this morning. Pictures from the scene earlier today show workers at the site at around 5:20 a.m. on Thursday loading the sculpture into the back of a skip lorry. I did like that little touch actually. I thought it was brilliant to put it in a skip. I thought that was legendary. Bristol Council later tweeted to confirm they had removed the statue and it will be kept in a museum for the artists to collect or donate to their collection. It's disgusting. You can't just tear down a statue and then just go and whack another one in its place willy-nilly. You've got to have public consultation. There has to be a democratic process followed. Moving on. London street evacuated as two fall ill after suspected package found. Hazard team on scene. Oi oi. 5 ambulances and 3 fire engines have rushed to Bromley, London after reports of a suspicious package. Police are also at the scene on London Road near Bromley North Station after being called at 12 p.m. today. A home has been evacuated and roads in the area are shut. A spokesperson from LAS said, London Ambulance Service, "We were called at 12:45 p.m. today to reports of an incident at a residential address in London Road, Bromley. We dispatched a number of resources, including an incident response officer, ambulance crews and our hazardous area response teams. The incident is ongoing and we are working with other emergency services at the scene." A spokesman for the Metropolitan Police added at approximately 12:35 hours on Thursday 16th of July, police were called to an address on London Road in Bromley to reports of a suspicious package. Officers are on scene along with the London Fire Brigade and the London Ambulance Service. We have received reports of 2 people feeling unwell at the scene. The premises have been evacuated. Road closures are in place. Inquiries continue. Well. I wonder what that could all be about. And let's just have a quick flick through to see what else is happening around the world. Scottish hotels lose bookings as Sturgeon threatens to quarantine English visitors. She really is just a nationalist, that Sturgeon. Or wee little cranky as I call her. Iran judiciary may halt protesters' executions after social media storm. I don't think social media storms affecting the decision making of Iran. I don't think so somehow. Madeleine McCann prime suspect. Oh yeah. She should have never been left alone in the first place. What else is going on? Italy's economy faces disaster without tourism. So do many economies, to be fair. Maxwell secretly married to protect her 10 million fortune being seized and given to victims, say pals. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Mum has sex with what? Pet pitbull before killing her 2 young children. There's a lot of really sick mums out there at the moment. They've been all over the press today. Everything you need to know about the Jen Reid statue replacing slave trader Edward Colston. All you need to know is that it shouldn't have been placed there because it was an unlawful act. Trump scales back convention as Florida outbreak worsens. More on Jihadi Bride. More on the statue. Jihadi Bride. Coronavirus. Statue. Jihadi Bride. Right, I think we will leave it there for this evening. You will be safe out there, and if you can't be safe, win.